I'm back with another video in my house. We're at the headquarters in Nashville, collaborativecoachingonline.com. What's up to Brazel and Wally, my fellow coaches? So, real quick, I want to look at the weekend, what was accomplished. There were a few goals for me coming into race season. Sorry, that light's pretty annoying right there. And with that, these are very informal. I also want to go back to the PD curve and another way to look at what areas you want to focus on in your training. So big shout out to Jason Chatham who gave me this chart. It's the residuals chart, and I'll point that out in a second. It makes the holes much more obvious. And also, if you could do me a favor, if you like this channel, please subscribe to it, because if we get enough subscribers, we can do extra things that make it better. Some live video casts, and also ability to link you to different articles and more information to make you faster. But YouTube makes us have a certain number of subscribers. Like the videos, it helps us out. And I'm gonna put a link in here. So I've linked up with Swiftwick socks. They're incredible. I've been racing with them for 6-7 years. I'm trying to help promote their brand beyond Tennessee. If you could do me a huge favor and just click on the link that has my hashtag Brendan in it, because it shows them then that I'm out here promoting it and trying to help educate people. Number one, the reason why I love the socks, they last forever. I guarantee you they will last at least twice as long as whatever current cycling sock you're using. Number two, when I hurt my Achilles, the compression in the Aspire, Aspire sock, I like the level 7, the height, I think it's perfect. It just feels like you're wearing something supportive of, to me, this, you've got your ankle. We're moving our ankle in cycling, but it's just a major joint down there. And your Achilles has very little blood flow. So the compression, technically based on compressive, now I don't want to say properties, but why people wear compression tights is because of the increased blood flow. It just keeps everything super secure and blood flow moving down there. I don't think I'll ever use another sock. But click the link. It just shows that I'm out here trying to help them out. I really appreciate it. Look around at their website. See if there's something that could help you out. If you have questions, let me know. So getting into this weekend, you can see I finally got some good negative training stress. We've got some bad weather coming in, but this was an awesome ride for me. I went out and really wanted to hit some hard efforts early. And as you can see, went out and did a 2 5-minutes and then went to do 4 6-minute efforts. Looking to hit high VO2 max. And really the last one was, I was smoked. Wasn't able to hit the high end. So I did it in 3 and 3, and I actually needed 3 and then like 4 maybe. And then played a little game. I had a certain wattage that I wanted. And whether you subscribe to the idea of, hey, I'm not hitting X watts anymore, so I can the intervals, I don't really do that. There's other articles that you can look at about stress versus strain. So say you're going out and say your threshold's 300 watts, and you go out one day and you can only do 270. Do you keep doing them, or do you stop and say you're tired? For me, and for most of my athletes, I have them continue to ride hard. For a few reasons. Well, I'm a huge mental person in this sport. There are going to be days when you go out and you're supposed to be at a certain wattage, and your body's not going to do it. And if you're in a race, that can be very frustrating, unless to me, if I've trained and I said, hey, this is one of those days that I don't have X, I've got X minus 30. I'm going to go out there and I know how that ride feels then. Because you know what threshold feels like. You know what tempo feels like. You know what endurance feels like. You do it all the time. But what about those days, and it's going to be on a race day sometime, when you don't have that? And then all your zones in your head are messed up, and you're like, how hard can I go? Can I really go hard? So a lot of times, unless someone's just totally crushed, I'd have them continue it. So that's kind of what this was. I had an X in my mind, and I'm like, you know what? I want to stay in that zone, though, today. So opposite of what we're just talking about. I want to stay in that zone. So instead of doing 4 minutes at X minus 40, because I'm crushed, I've just done 5, 10, 35 minutes of VO2 max. I'm going to hold X just as long as I can. And when I go below it, I'm going to pull the plug. And then to make this a really hard ride, I decided I would hit 2 hours of tempo after. This was extremely difficult for me. I took a break at an hour. I think it's for about 5 minutes here. 3 to 2.5 minutes, maybe it was. Yeah. I was just the hip flexors were killing me. And the second hour, I finished it and just kept reminding myself, like, this is what makes you stronger. This is what makes you better. This is what, we're all out here trying to crush ourselves, to break down, to build up. We're all here, take us down a step and then go up really high. I was super proud of that ride, hitting almost 300 TSS in 4 hours. For me, that's good. So I was excited about that. And then Sunday, I woke up, I was pretty destroyed and decided I was going after 30-second efforts and some. What else did I do? Let's see here. So you can highlight, click on selection, zoom selection. This one is 42 to 2-minute efforts. Is that what I was doing? I honestly don't remember. Yeah. Okay, I was doing like 2-minute efforts. Work. So those were difficult. Messed around with a few different ways of doing them, sitting, standing, whatnot. A couple sprints, and then go back to entire workout. And then motor tempo again for an hour, and then cruise back home. So got a nice bump in my MFTP, and you can see. So this is also okay. I've preached about using the histogram. You can only use the histogram for your power if it's a hard ride like a race. Because look, today this would say my FTP this is the drop. That's the drop I'm talking about. See that fall off? 350 to 360. It's clearly not my FTP. Because I'm crushing the day before, I'm not doing FTP. The way that I'm not doing FTP type efforts. The reason this works is because it's your natural buffer. When do you start letting off? Once you're about to explode, basically, over and over and over and over again. When the bell curve comes out, the fall off. Look at a race, and you'll see how close to reality that is. So we've been talking about the PD curve. I'm not going to go into that again, but when we look back, that's going to be on your main page here of your athlete. So we've been looking at this, and shout out to Jason Chatham. So these little dips, when you're trying to fill out your curve, Coggins normalized residuals chart. This thing hits you in the face like, bam! These are easy to see. If you have them even slightly bigger, they're much more exaggerated on the chart. So I know I got to do a minute 30, got to do 30 seconds. This stuff I'm not worried about until a little bit later in the season. I could go hammer that. I'm just sighing because I don't want to do it. But my last comment on this is you can chase, and I probably should have said this in the first video, you can chase the holes all season long, and the algorithm constantly changes. You're always going to be chasing them. The reason you're doing this now, early in the season, is because you want to get data for everything. Remember, that was the goal. We started chasing these because what were the holes that you hadn't done since last September, October, November? If you hadn't been riding in a group, you might not have pushed yourself to do a 3-minute effort. You might not have pushed yourself to do a 10-minute effort. So you're just out there getting data points. Once you've done that for a couple weeks, Your main goal though is still getting faster, probably for an event. Whether we coach guys from, hey, I want to stop getting dropped on the group ride, to, hey, I want to win a national championship. So we coach the gamut of racers or riders, whatever you want to call yourself. Bikers, I really don't care. Cyclists, someone that wants to get faster, right? Get fast faster. You need to be specifically applying your training to your event. So don't just chase the holes. I don't want people just chasing little curves on a thing here. If you have a race coming up soon and it has a 5-minute climb that you're going to go do 7 times, you're doing 5-minute efforts once a week at least on your really hard day, doing multiple ones, because if the race isn't just one, it's not just a max 5-minute. You could have a great max 5-minute, but if your next 4 suck because you've never done 5 in a row with a lap's worth of rest, I hate to tell you, but you're probably going to suck on the race day. So make sure your training is specific to your event, whatever the event is. The event could be the weekend group ride. The event could be a Tuesday night training race. The event could be a world championship. So keep that in mind. I had told you we were going to look at a litmus test, but this is the video for today. We're going to look at that next time. And it's going to be interesting when we get into people's top 5 charts. Insert Drake's top 5, top 5, top 5.